Okay, hello my wonderful people over there on the other side of the screen. Today I want to be talking to you about profession, character building and character disorders. The first subject is related to surviving and thriving and even making money and gaining even fame and these kind of, like desirable things in the human world. And the next subject, character building, is much harder subject. It's the blending of the line between fact and fiction. This is what I do. I don't do profession, I do character building. That's different. Look into Freemasonry if you want to understand more of this. And then character disorders. This is related to mental health. And I'm going to show you how we can make you better in your profession by building up your character, and we can also make you better in your mental health by making you better in your profession, for example. I'm going to show you the link between this, and this is related to who you really are as a human being. Let's start with my character, Truth Detective. Like, if I want to be a truth detective, like what defines a detective? Well, a detective is, it's a kind of a good guy. A detective doesn't, break the law, for example. And why did I create this, character? Why did I become truth detective? I'm going to tell you this truth. I'm a truthful guy. I'm a very honest guy. And I'm going to tell you that I used to have in my life very much like very many impulses to kind of break everything that makes a detective. And I believe that in the police officers there are actually very, very many people who are exactly the same way. I believe that your profession is actually the things you don't want to do. Like, if you are in a job and you feel that you don't want to do this job, like, think about it. Of course, it makes complete sense. It's a surefire way to unhappiness also, but it might be that if you really dig deep, there's something going on in your mental health that made you choose this profession. I must never commit a murder. I must never be a drug dealer. I must never take drugs. I'm going to become a police officer. I must never break the law. This kind of stuff. These rules that the system and the law and the society placed on you. But it's deeper than that. Because being a police officer is actually a character. Nobody is a police officer. Of course, you go through schooling, but your profession is a fiction. You have to understand. That's what this character, Truth Detective, is really trying to tell everybody that works in this world. Is that your profession is a complete fiction. It's just that if you are really good at it, you are just good at acting like that character. You have to understand whatever it is. You might be a surgeon. That's also a character that you want to become. And it's really important for you to understand why. A surgeon. I must not let this person to die. When a murderer is more like, I must freaking kill that person. Whole different world. I must not let this person die. That person must die. The mafia boss, the opposite. So think about it. If you want to build a character, we go to the fictional realm. What do they say? Fake it till you make it. Well, of course, fake it till you make it. What is that? It's play. It's play. When you become really good at playing something, you become the real thing. Whatever it might be, I'm not a British man, I'm not an American, but I might fly as one someday. How did that happen? Well, I started playing one, I'm childlike in many ways. That's one of the reasons I have hard time, being in this world, because I grew up in the World of Warcraft, you know, I had my character. I live, I'm a living testament to being a fucking WoW player, you know. I became this character because of that. And I also became this character because I didn't want to do those behaviors that kind of define what gets you into trouble in this world. So I can, because I'm a truth detective, I can go to those people that kind of break the law, for example. And I can go to those people and usually they like me a lot, you know, because I'm not here to tell you that you must never break the law. You know, I'm not here to call the cops on you. That's not my gig. My job over here is to tell you and make you understand more deeply why you are breaking the law. You are breaking the law just because you don't have any character. And many people that are breaking the law, they have kind of unconsciously understood what I'm doing over here. I can see that they kind of, you know, they kind of, you know, they really see the greatness in what I'm doing. And it's very smart what I'm doing. I know this. And what does a detective also do? Like a character is also a way to remind yourself to do these behaviors, you know. What does a detective do? Ask good questions. Find out the truth. You know, what happened? Like, what went on there? Like, how did you become like that? Like, was there did something happen that day? You know, when were you there? What color was it? You know, this kind of, I ask the weirdest questions from people. But I feel that I can still make people feel kind of reassured. But deep inside, you know, I'm anything but a detective, you know. I'm anything but a, you know, lawful citizen, you know, deep inside. And I believe that that's true for most police officers. Maybe not most, but I believe that in amongst police officers, you know, there are very heinous types, you know, like subconsciously. It's just that I must not break the law and I must enforce the law. That's even worse, you know. When something is so important for you that you must never do it, you start enforcing it on other people. And it's understandable, you know, that you do this if it's so important for you. Think about, for example, the Buddhist monks. The Buddhist monks don't usually enforce celibacy on other people. But it's part of their character. It's part of who they are. If you want to become a Buddhist monk, how do you do that? Well, you go through these rituals. But rituals, ordinations, nothing like that makes you into anything. It's not that. They define how does a Buddhist monk behave. You try to behave like that, you become hugely neurotic. You know, of course. It's not natural. It's not natural to be this, you know. It's not natural to be a true detective. It's very unnatural, actually. But I became like this because I realized that I can't function even like on a pretty normal level in this society without becoming like this. And this is a completely new thing I'm doing, I feel. Character building is very much something that you are never taught in schools, you know. Character building is not really a skill. It is built upon the understanding of your neuroses and self-examination. You wouldn't become this if if you hadn't gone through very deep, you know, self-analysis, like who I am. So that's that. Think about it. The next time you see a professional, a doctor, you must never become sick. Like becoming sick is the worst thing you can do, like that can happen to you. Never become sick. Was there somebody who was sick in your life? And you just, you know, it became a rule in your mind. Were your parents like this? Like, you must never become sick. Who enforced this on you? You know, like, I must use these drugs on you so you don't become sick, you know. You become a psychiatrist. You must never become insane. You don't think insane psychiatrists don't exist? Like what is what is the behavior you are trying to block in other people from surfacing, you know? I think working with people actually like comes from this, because a truth detective understands just this fact, you know, that there are so many people in this world that have this, you know, basic notion in their mind: I must never lie, you know. What does a detective do? No, well, detective is a lie detector, you know. But you have to also understand that with lying, for example, you have to ask a better question than, is this a lie? You have to ask, does this lie matter at all? You know, will it change anything if this guy's lying to me? And most of the time it doesn't. Most of the time it's freaking, you know, it doesn't matter at all. You might as well believe it. Yeah. For example, if you become a Satanist, like what is your rule in your mind? I must never believe in this stuff. You know, I must never believe. And yeah, like why? If you are a believer, I must never become like a non-believer, you know. Like where does this you know, like enforcement of this like come from? I don't know. You know better than I do. So in your profession, ask yourself this question: why are you doing it? If you don't like doing it, it's because you are subconsciously you are the opposite of what you are doing. Understand me. If you don't like your job, you are the opposite of what you are doing subconsciously. This insight will completely change your life. This is the deepest thing anybody ever will tell you. Thanks for watching.